Have you ever wondered who can actually beat Isagi in a one-on-one match? Is it Rin Itoshi, Bachira, or maybe even the world's best player, Noel Noa? Well, in this video, I'm gonna rank every player, from those who have almost no chance of beating Isagi to the ones who would completely destroy him in seconds. Starting with the 0% chance, we have Gurimu Igarashi. Okay, for this guy, I'd say throughout Blue Lock, he mostly stayed under the radar, relying on sheer luck and desperation to avoid elimination, while barely making any real impact in matches or training. Well, nothing much to say here. Isagi will easily dominate him. Next up, with a 2% chance, we have Gin Gagamaru. Gagamaru is known for his insane reflexes and goalkeeping instincts, which makes him a defensive wall when needed. But in a pure 1v1 against Isagi, his options are limited. He doesn't have the dribbling or offensive moves to break past Isagi's vision and positioning, so relying on just goalkeeping would not stop Isagi from destroying him completely. At 3%, we've got Kazuma Neo. Neo is a reliable defender with good marking and awareness, which makes him solid in team play. But when it comes to a pure one-on-one, that's not enough. He doesn't have the speed or unpredictability to catch Isagi off guard. Isagi would read his moves, bait him, and find a way past every time. Against someone who lives to break down defenders, Neo's chances stay very low. Now, with a 5% chance, we have Alexis Ness. Ness is great at linking plays and making his teammates shine with his precise passes and smooth touches. But let's be real, in a 1v1, all that teamwork doesn't help much. He's tricky on the ball, but he doesn't have the killer instinct to break through Isagi's metavision alone. Isagi would read his flow and shut him down real fast, leaving Ness with only a tiny shot at winning. Next up is Aoshi Tokimitsu with an 8% chance. Tokimitsu has the build and raw strength to bulldoze past people when he's confident. Physically, he's got what it takes. Strong, fast, and hard to knock off the ball. But mentally, he's his own worst enemy. I mean, there isn't even much to talk about. And yeah, let's be real, bro is not beating Isagi in a 1v1. At 9%, we've got Nijiro Nanase. Nanase's biggest strength is how quietly adaptable he is. He blends in, watches, and adjusts to support stronger players. He's decent on the ball and has good awareness. But when it comes to just him versus Isagi, that quiet style won't cut it. Isagi would literally destroy him in a 1v1. Next up, with a 10% chance, is Hajime Nishioka. We know very little about Nishioka's actual skills, but he was picked over Baru and Naruhaya in the second selection, so he's definitely not a nobody. He's even called Aomori's Messi, so we can guess he's got some flair and dribbling ability. But since we've never really seen him play, it's all speculation. And honestly, a 1v1 against Isagi would still be brutal. Unless he suddenly turns into prime Messi, bro's not beating anyone. Well, if you are enjoying this video so far, why not subscribe? Yeah, go on, click it. Now, with a 12% chance, we have Zantetsu Tsurugi. Zantetsu's biggest threat is pure speed. He's like a bullet when he gets going, but just being fast won't save him here. Isagi would block his paths and shut down those straight line sprints in seconds. And when it comes to tight dribbling or tricky footwork, Zantetsu doesn't really have that extra edge. If he can't blow past Isagi right away, he's done for. Next up is Jubei Aryu with a 15% chance. Aryu's got reach, style, and great physical tools. His long legs help him intercept plays, and his balance is solid. But in a 1v1 against Isagi, height alone won't help him much. Maybe he could block a few of Isagi's shots, but beating Isagi is another story. With metavision and that two-gun volley shot in his arsenal, Aryu wouldn't even see the ball coming. With an 18% chance, we have Ranze Kurona. Kurona is fast and smart, an elite link-up player who's especially dangerous when paired with Isagi himself. But solo, that's a different story. Without someone to combine with, Kurona's playstyle loses its edge. Isagi knows him too well and would easily read his cuts and movements. He's sharp, but alone he can't break through Isagi's vision, so Kurona would get shut down real fast. At 19%, we've got Shuto Sendo. Sendo was a key striker for the Japan U20 team. Solid hold-up play, good positioning, and he knows how to finish when he gets the chance. But his biggest weakness is that he sometimes sometimes pushes too hard and loses control when the pressure's on. And in a 1v1 against Isagi, he's bound to feel the pressure and mess up the game. And we know just how good Isagi is at trash talk. He could literally make Sendo question his existence. And the moment he gets pressured, Isagi would completely beat him without really doing much. Next up is Eito Otoya with a 23% chance. Otoya is incredibly quick on his feet, reacting fast to opponents and using his speed to slip past them. This mix of speed and off-the-ball movement lets him weave through defenders with unpredictable footwork before they even realize he's gone. That alone can be tricky for Isagi to handle, but beating Isagi head-on is still out of his reach. Even with his ninja-like stealth, Isagi's metavision can read almost every move Otoya makes and shut him down before he can even think. Now we have Iki Nico with a 25% chance. Nico's smart. He's basically a mini Isagi when it comes to reading the field and adjusting in real time. And just like Isagi, he's unlocked metavision too. He knows how to track opponents, cut passing lanes, and control space, which makes him one of the best defenders in Blue Lock. But against Isagi, that's not going to be enough. I mean, we all saw how Isagi crushed Nico during the very first selections, and back then, Isagi wasn't even that good. Nico's great at seeing the flow of the game, but Isagi always stays one step ahead. Unless Nico comes up with something completely unpredictable, he has very little chance of beating Isagi. Next up, with a 28% chance, we have Ryo Mikage. Ryo's copying ability makes him dangerous. He can copy other players' moves in an instant, which makes him super adaptable. But even Ryo needs inspiration to copy moves, and alone against Isagi, he might run out of tricks really fast. Isagi's unpredictable play and spatial control could trap him before he adapts. Ryo's good, but not unbeatable. He's more of a team player than someone who plays solo, and without a team or Nagi around him, he's surely going to fail. Finally, with a 30% chance, we have Kyoma Chiguri. Chiguri's speed is straight up terrifying. Once he hits top gear, most defenders can't even react before he's gone. His explosive acceleration and sharp cuts make him one of Blue Lock's deadliest sprinters. But against Isagi, the real challenge is creating that space to sprint in the first place. Isagi's metavision would help him read Chiguri's runs and shut down passing lanes before he could build momentum. Still, Chiguri isn't just fast. He's agile and fearless when taking risks. If he times it perfectly and catches Isagi off guard, he could blaze right through him. Next up, with a 30% chance, we have Rensuke Kunigami. Kunigami's all about raw power. His insane shooting strength and physical presence make him dangerous anywhere near the goal. He's got a no-nonsense style. When he sees an opening, he goes straight for it without any hesitation. And now, at this level, it's not so easy for Isagi anymore. If Kunigami catches even a moment to fire off that monster shot, it could be game over in a flash. But that's the thing, he's still a bit too predictable. Isagi's metavision would read those direct charges and force him into uncomfortable spots. Unless Kunigami mixes things up and times his shot perfectly, Isagi's going to break him down. Still, Kunigami makes him sweat more than most. Next up, with a 32% chance, we have Kenyu Yukimiya. Yukimiya has that flashy street-style dribbling. He weaves through defenders with smooth footwork and isn't afraid to take risks one-on-one. His tight ball control and ability to fake out opponents give him a real shot at troubling Isagi. But here's the catch. Yukimiya shines brightest when he's creating plays for others, not just finishing alone. Still, at this level, Yukimiya's unpredictability and killer dribble can make things uncomfortable for Isagi. If Yukimiya finds the right angle, he might just slip through and make a goal. Up next is Tabito Kurasu with a 35% chance. Kurasu's sharp mind and sticky defense make him one of the smartest players in Blue Lock. He's great at breaking up the flow, reading passing patterns, and shutting down his opponents before they even realize it. In a 1v1, that defensive IQ and dribbling give him a real shot at throwing Isagi off his rhythm and forcing him into awkward situations. But against Isagi, who plays the same mind game on an even higher level, Kurasu's advantage shrinks. He might hold his ground for a while and force mistakes, but outthinking Isagi long enough to win a pure 1v1 is still a bit of a stretch. But let's be real, Kurasu still has a slight upper hand with his dribbling. Next up, with a 40% chance, we have Soshiro Nagi. Nagi's first touch is pure magic. He can trap and control passes that nobody else can even dream of, turning impossible balls into scoring chances in an instant. His creativity and ball control make him unpredictable, which is exactly the kind of chaos that can throw Isagi off. He's even beaten Isagi before, like during the Bastard Munich vs Manshine City match, when he pulled off that genius goal. But let's be real, that was only possible because he had Reo feeding him perfect passes. Alone in a 1v1, it's a different story. Nagi often leans on his teammates to create perfect passes for him, and without that setup, he loses an edge. Still, his unreal touch and natural goal-scoring instinct mean he can pull off a miracle if given a split second. But with Isagi's metavision and evolving ability to read even the wildest plays, he'd be ready to cut off those surprise traps and shut Nagi down if he hesitates for even a moment. Next up, with a 48% chance, we have Hiyori-yo. Hiyori's passing vision is elite. He's one of the best at reading the field and threading pinpoint passes, but lately, he's stepped up his game, finding his own ego and rushing to score himself too. That mix of calm playmaking and sudden aggression makes him unpredictable, even for Isagi. Plus, he already knows Isagi better than almost anyone, which gives him an edge. He's also unlocked his own version of metavision, which lets him read spaces like Isagi does. He genuinely has what it takes to beat Isagi if he keeps that killer instinct alive. But if he slips up or shows even the slightest doubt, Isagi will break through his plans and take control in an instant. At 50%, we have Ryusei Shido. Shido is pure chaos, aggressive, unpredictable, and hungry to crush his opponents by any means. His physicality and wild instincts make him terrifying in a direct battle. He doesn't overthink, he just attacks. That's what makes him dangerous for Isagi. He's hard to predict even for Isagi, because sometimes Shido doesn't even know what he'll do next. If he gets in Isagi's head and forces him off his game, he could easily overpower him. Next up, with a 52% chance, we have Shohei Bato. Bato is the king of ego, direct, ruthless, and built for 1v1 battles. His powerful shots, insane physicality, and predator-like movement make him one of the few who can genuinely overpower Isagi if he finds the right angle. But Bato's biggest problem is that he's stubborn. If Isagi reads his patterns and shuts down his lanes, Bato can get stuck repeating the same brute force movements. Even Isagi has beaten him before by outsmarting him, but Bato has evolved since then, adding new moves and even more brute force. If he can keep Isagi from controlling the pace, Bato can break through by sheer will. Next up, with a 56% chance, we have Oliver Aiku. As the former captain of Japan's under-20 team, Aiku is a defensive mastermind with insane physical gifts, speed, reach, and an instinct for shutting attackers down. He's one of the few who can keep up with Isagi's constant repositioning because he's unlocked his own version of metavision, letting him read multiple threats at once. That makes him a nightmare for strikers, but Aiku isn't unbeatable. Isagi's adaptability and next-level metavision let him find cracks in even the tightest defenses. And while Aiku's defense is elite, he's not much of an offensive threat himself. If Isagi finds a way to drag him into attacking play, that could open the door to a goal-scoring opportunity. Next up, with a 58% chance, we have Don Lorenzo. Lorenzo is a physical monster. He sticks to strikers like glue and bullies them off the ball with insane strength and stamina. His defensive reads and brutal marking can make even top attackers feel trapped. Against Isagi, Lorenzo's biggest weapon is shutting down space completely, giving Isagi no room to move freely. But Lorenzo isn't just good at defense. His zombie dribbling is a technique that allows him to effortlessly dribble past opponents by confusing them with his unconventional movements. If he uses this at the right moment, he could even slip past Isagi's metavision and catch him off guard. Next up, with a 60% chance, we have Meguru Bachira. Bachira's biggest weapon is his unpredictable dribbling. He can twist through defenders with nutmegs, sudden feints, and wild changes in direction that throw people off completely. Even Isagi's metavision struggles when Bachira's in full flow, because there's no clear pattern to follow. Bachira just does what feels right in the moment. He's fearless in 1v1s, and actually thrives when he's alone against defenders, which makes him a real threat for Isagi. And let's be real, Isagi doesn't have a strong defense and often relies on teammates to perfect his plays, so Bachira's monster dribbling gives him a real shot at breaking through. Finally, with an 80% chance, we have Rin Itoshi. Rin is Isagi's biggest rival and the player most likely to beat him in a 1v1. Rin is basically a sharper version of Isagi in many ways. He's got crazy precision, elite shooting, and dribbling that can leave Isagi dusted in seconds, because we know that Isagi isn't really that strong when it comes to that. They've clashed multiple times, and Rin has pushed Isagi to his absolute limit every single time. Unlike most players, Rin doesn't crumble under pressure. He thrives on it with his pure destruction mode, an aggressive, greedy, unorthodox style where he purposely draws out his opponent's strongest weapon just to crush it head on. If anyone can overpower Isagi in his own game, it's Rin Itoshi. Now, with an 82% chance, we have Michael Kaiser. Kaiser is Isagi's biggest headache at Bastard Munich. Flashy, arrogant, and a genius when it comes to breaking defenses apart. His Kaiser impact shots and unpredictable movements give him multiple ways to outplay Isagi's reading of the game. Kaiser isn't scared to play dirty mind games either, throwing Isagi off his rhythm every chance he gets. Isagi can't stop him alone. Even in the manga, he needed Hiyori's help to shut Kaiser down. But if it's a 1v1 situation, I don't think Isagi will be any problem for Kaiser. He's just too creative and ruthless when he wants to score. Next up, with an 85% chance, we have Sae Itoshi. Sae is a prodigy, a genius midfielder whose vision, technique, and passing are world class. His ball control and pinpoint assists can dismantle even the best defenses, and he's not afraid to dribble through tight spaces when needed. I mean, we all saw how he single-handedly dominated the whole Blue Lock versus Japan under-20 match. Sae's calm under pressure and can twist the entire flow of the game in his favor in seconds. Against Isagi, Sae's elite ball control and experience give him a huge edge. Isagi's metavision is strong, but Sae's creativity and sheer technical skill make him nearly impossible to read completely. Unless Isagi pulls out something completely wild, Sae's vision and ball control give him the upper hand. At 86% chance, we have Julian Loki. Loki is insanely fast. The moment he touches the ball, he's gone. His explosive speed and sharp dribbling make it almost impossible for defenders to react in time. Even Isagi's metavision can't keep up when Loki hits top gear. He's just too quick and unpredictable to pin down in a pure 1v1. If Loki gets moving, there's really nothing Isagi can do. He's simply too fast to stop alone. Now, with an 88% chance, we have Lavino. This superstar Brazilian is pure flair and speed. His unpredictable dribbling, flashy feint, and lightning-fast footwork can break through even the tightest defense. Lavino can slip past defenders with ease and hit unstoppable finishes right after. He is just so good at his work that Isagi wouldn't even have the chance to do anything. Next up, with a 91% chance, we have Mark Snuffy. Snuffy is a mastermind who can control the flow of a match all by himself. His tactical mind, physical power, and calm execution make him one of the toughest opponents for anyone. Although Isagi is great at using his metavision, Mark Snuffy is on a whole other level. He's said to have the best metavision of all time. While Isagi's great at reading opponents, Snuffy's been doing it at the highest level for years. Now we have got Chris Prince with a 95% chance. Chris is a physical genius. He combines his peak athleticism with insane football IQ, making him the perfect balance of raw power and sharp tactics. His movement, stamina, and technical skill allow him to break through defenses effortlessly and adapt to any situation on the fly. Against Isagi, Chris's elite conditioning and unpredictable attacks would overwhelm him fast. Isagi is surely strong, but Chris's all-round game and world-class physicality leaves him barely any openings to exploit. Finally, with a 100% chance, we have Noel Noa. Noa is the best striker in the world and Isagi's mentor at Bastard Munich. Noa is the complete package. Flawless technique, unreal positioning, lethal finishing, and a football brain that always stays 10 steps ahead. He's the blueprint Isagi tries to copy, but Noah's mastery is simply on another level. Sure, Isagi once managed to manipulate Noah's movement and used him as a decoy to score his own goal, but that only proves how insane Isagi's mind is. Not that he can beat Noah alone. In a true 1v1, Noah wipes him out every time without even breaking a sweat. Click on this video next, where we made the strongest crew in all of anime history. Go on, check it out.